Hi everybody, I'm Jim Skelly and this is the Global Conversation. I've been traveling quite a bit recently and so haven't been able to post other mini lectures, so I'll try to bring you up to date with some of the things that we've been looking at both here at Juniata College and in places I've been visiting or concerned with. Um, One of the most spectacular and depressing episodes of the last week and a half has been the Typhoon Haiyan, which hit the Philippines. The death toll now seems to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,000 people. There could be significant increases beyond that. Numbers are that 11,000 are injured and many people have been made homeless. Incredible destruction. The latest report says the typhoon continues on its path to the west is that it has left 80,000 people homeless in Vietnam. The Filipino representative to the UN climate talks, which are taking place this week in Poland, broke down in tears when he reported about events there. Other diplomats, not normally known for their emotional expressiveness, also broke down in tears. What people are beginning to say is, when are the rich nations going to take the necessary action? As many of you know by now, it would require probably 4 to 5 planets if everyone lived like people in the United States of America. The poorest people are the ones who are most fully at risk, and they will continue to be at risk if we who live in rich places continue to live the way we have been living. And it's not that those sentiments, the right sentiments, the sentiments which would correct this obsessive way in which we are living, are not widespread among people. Even in Texas, there are lots of people who believe in climate change. Climate denial is a boutique perspective. It can't continue to go on. I was at a conference last week in Budapest on what is being called the New Age of Uncertainty. One of the themes in this conference was that governments no longer seem to be able to act. National governments are not. Their efficacy as institutions is eroding. There are various reasons for this. Some of you will understand the way in which democracy is being undone by wealth. Others will understand that ideological concerns continue to come into play and disrupt efficacious action in the face of what is going to increasingly be a great disaster. I keep thinking to myself, well, 4,000 people have been killed in the Philippines. More than Al-Qaeda was able to kill in New York and the surrounding areas of the east coast of the United States on September 11, 2001, and there are billions and billions of dollars committed to making sure that doesn't happen again. Where are the billions and billions of dollars that should be committed to making sure the kind of disruption that we see from climate change and the way in which we are continuing to emit carbon dioxide and now other greenhouse gases, methane, is coming at greater and greater volumes? There is no commitment to it. Our governments increasingly do not act. They say nice words occasionally. I'm going to provide you with a link to the brief speech by the Filipino representative to the UN climate talks. I think it's really, really worth your paying attention to this and thinking about how you should become active. I would recommend that you go to the co2now.org website to keep track on a monthly basis of the increase in the parts per million of carbon dioxide that is being emitted by our activity on this planet. To keep the rise in global temperatures to 2 degrees centigrade above the 1990s standard, we should not be emitting any more than 350 parts per million of carbon dioxide. We are now emitting, it's gone up again this past month, 393.6 parts per million. And there's no action that seems to indicate that any of this will be forestalled. It's time to really think about how we should live on this planet and then to act. You have the information from this course and from other sources. When I was in Budapest, Richard Falk, who has been the UN rapporteur in the Middle East, also a great advocate of human rights, gave a very, very compelling talk. I hope to have video of it to show you in the very near future. But one of the things that he said was that in the face of climate change and nuclear weapons, but especially climate change, he would have hoped that by now we would have developed a species consciousness, a species identity, that we would have become reflective enough to understand that we were all humans upon this planet, and that all these national identities, whether they're Irish, American, Russian, whatever they are nothing but clothing, fancy clothing that one wears to deploy some sort of identity that will help us through the existential crisis of living. We must understand that we are humans upon a planet, all of us, and we're all in this boat together. Think of what you would do if you were at sea in a small boat. Let's say the middle of the Atlantic. Would some people on that small boat have greater privileges than others? Or would you come around to recognizing that you all have to act in consort with each other, in solidarity with each other, to ensure your survival? Richard Falk said in his remarks at this conference that humans are unfortunately given to short-term thinking. We all know it, we've all engaged in it personally, I'm sure. But we have to get people to stop doing this. Christmas is coming. Various things you can give to those who you'd like to give gifts to get you through the dark winter nights. One of the things I've been doing recently is looking at what a new genre of literature. It's called climate fiction. There are several books that I've been reviewing. One is called Solar by Ian McEwan. Very good book, I must say. Very compelling. It looks, among other things, it uses solar energy as a kind of foil in this novel. Very good novel. There's a really compelling one by Nathaniel Rich, and that one is called The Odds Against Tomorrow. It's about a superstorm that hits New York City. Think Hurricane Sandy, but much more powerful. It's a bit shocking. The most worrying book, however, has been the rather famous author Barbara Kingsolver. Barbara Kingsolver's new novel is called Flight Behavior. I wonder what that title means. It's about butterflies. It's about monarch butterflies, those beautiful butterflies that migrate every year north to south into Mexico and various parts of the United States. And what's happening, of course, is the butterflies, just like us, but only more profound for them, are becoming confused by the climate. And now it's time to see what happens. And Barbara Kingsolver knows what's likely to happen unless we do something. The butterflies will be gone. And the butterflies are interdependent with other species. It's not just that you get rid of butterflies, but it's like bees. A friend of mine is doing an exhibit in Colorado called Collapse. The same title as Jared Diamond's book about the collapse of civilizations that exceeded their environmental limits. In this case, my friend Jane McMahon is looking at the collapse of bee colonies. And they are collapsing. Oh, so does it matter if we have a few less bees? Probably. Probably a lot. Because so much of our food is a result of the pollinating activity of bees. Do we care? What's happening with bees? Well, there's herbicides that are being used. Short-term thinking, once again, it's everywhere. We have to get beyond it. We have to begin doing long-term thinking. And that means each and every one of us. I've got some other things that I'd like to talk to you about. Maybe I'll put another video in the next day or two. The holidays are pressing in on us, and so is the end of semester. But there's some things I'd like to talk to you about. I hope all of you who are still engaged with the course, I know some people have been having difficulty or working on their learning circle projects. I know some of the students here at Juniata have been very enthusiastic about them, but they've had some difficulty linking up with students in other parts of the world. Our only recommendation, this sometimes happens in the class, you get free riders. Just do the project by yourself or with another colleague if you're having difficulty communicating with people in other parts of the world. At any rate, I hope you are engaged with the issues. They're not going away. You've got plenty to work on, so do I. And I hope you'll stay engaged. And as we are getting to the end of the semester, I'd also like to say, think about staying involved with this course. If you're really committed to it, we'll talk to you about becoming a teaching assistant in the course. We're going to do a relaunch of this course in the fall of 2014. 7 years of providing it to students from about 45 different countries. But we want more engagement with it, and so we're going to be working on that in the next 6 to 8 months. I hope you're all doing well, and please do stay in touch and take a look at the consequences of Hurricane Haiyan and think about what it means for the way we're living on this planet. It's a clear indication of something what's happening is the oceans are heating up and the storms are becoming more powerful. The winds were 195 miles per hour, 300 kilometers per hour. It's the strongest winds ever recorded. We've got to change, and we've got to change soon. Educate yourself. Be able to carry on conversations about these issues with others. And stay in touch with us. We're all in this little boat together. All the best, and see you soon.